Hello everybody, it's Steve Grizzetti, co-founder of MoviePix.com and author of the MoviePix.com Guide to Adobe Premiere Elements, and here we are in part 4 of our 8-part basic training for Adobe Premiere Elements. Here in part 4 we want to talk about adding transitions to our project, or adding transitions to the clips on our timeline. By the way, there's a simple transition you can add, and that is by right-clicking on any clip on the timeline. Under the fade options, you'll have options of simply fading in the audio, fading in video, fading out audio and video, or fading in and out. These can be used not only on the video clips themselves, but they can also be used on titles to fade a title in and out. So that's an easy one-click solution to adding a transition. But the real transitions, the ones we're most interested in, are over here on the toolbar on the right. I click to open up the transitions panel. And you remember when we were over in quick editing, if you looked at the transitions, we had about 15 transitions. Here we've got 10 categories of transitions. And you can jump to any one category. You can select Show All and scroll through the different categories, or you can search for specific transitions simply by clicking on the magnifying glass and typing in the name of the transition, and it will do a real-time search for you. To add a transition to your timeline, you simply drag it between two clips on the timeline. And then to get to the transitions adjustments or the transition properties, you click on the More button. And here we can scroll through several different properties that we can change or customize for our needs. Now let's look at what this particular, I'm going to click on the Apply button. Let's look at what this particular transition looks like. I'll play it through. And you can see that I just opened as barn doors here. Among the options for barn doors, if I just double click on the transition again and go to the More button, are options for adding borders to the little barn doors that open up, or reversing it so that rather than opening up into the new scene, they close into the new scene. Many transitions have more interesting properties. So for instance, if I deselect barn door here in my search box, I can go down to my wipe category and select band wipe and just drag it right on top of the old barn doors and it will replace it. And you notice the band wipe brings in 7 bars, 4 from one side, 3 from the other, to create the transition. If I open up More and scroll down, you see that I have a custom button, and if I click on the custom button, there I can designate the number of bands that come in. It's 7 by default. I believe I can go up to as many as 32. And that creates a very different kind of transition as we see 32 different bars coming in on the side. Now you got a large library of transitions here, I think over 75 of them. And to replace one with another, you simply just drag it right on top. Again, to get to the properties, all you need to do is just double click on the transition and it reopens the properties panel or the adjustments panel. And to remove the transition completely, you simply select it and press the delete button on your keyboard. There are 2 audio transitions, by the way. They're virtually the same. There's constant gain and constant power. Constant power is considered the more standard of the 2, but when it comes to transitions for audio, you're pretty much just cross-fading from one to another, and it's virtually impossible to tell constant gain from constant power, so it doesn't matter which you use, but it's just a simple cross-dissolve from one clip to the other. Now in part 5 of our 8-part series, we're going to show you some video effects. We'll take a look at how to add effects and make adjustments to effects here on your timeline. And I hope you'll come back and join me for that as we continue to explore this great little program, Premiere Elements. See you in part 5.